What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Wizards Outlook. We got Raymond Lyons here. I'm Wilson Tarpe Jr. Now, the Washington Wizards fell to the Miami Heat, 119 to 107. Tonight, as you guys see, Ray was in the building, so we're going to get to him, see what he took away from tonight's game in just a second. Obviously, Washington a bit shorthanded in terms of some of the bodies they were missing in the front court. But I felt like this just came down to just watching Miami. They closed quarters and halves better at times than Washington did in little pockets. And it just cost them over the long run. I thought Washington got some really big minutes from their bench. I thought the bench stepped up tonight for some of those people that were missing. But again, a team that I think it was Drew Gooden there in the broadcast was mentioning, like, this is low-key like Miami's time of year to kind of sort of start putting themselves together as a regular season kind of dwindles to a close. That's kind of when they start to kind of make their gradual push. But Ray, you were in the building. What did you think of tonight's game?
Yeah, man, it was interesting. Given that, we always talk about Washington being, a little smaller in the front court, and then them missing the bulk of their front court with Kuz and Rashawn Holmes being out. They still handled that portion of the game pretty well. I mean, they broke even on the boards, and they had, I believe, 56 points in the paint. Given what they went into the game with, you see that, you kind of think that that would give them not the upper hand, but that put them in a better position to win. But those two middle quarters doomed them. You brought up Miami closing out quarters well. The end of the second half, the end of the first half, the last 2 minutes of the second quarter, they kind of opened it up a little bit. Went into the half with a second 7-point lead. And then the third quarter, Washington just kind of went cold. They only scored 21 points that quarter, and Miami scored 29. They kind of gave themselves some breathing room, and Washington could never really get back in the striking distance again. Yeah, man. At one point, the 3-point shooting was a little further apart, but Washington closed the gap a little bit. But they were doing so well in the paint. At a certain point, man, you got to curb those type of shots. Goal was working. Those threes. We always say a bad shot is the first pass to the opposing team's fast break, and we saw that a little bit. Then some inopportune turnovers as well. And again, the offense just wasn't as fluid as it was, when during the winning streak and the game against the Nets. I felt like they were moving the ball much better. Tonight we saw a lot of one pass possessions, and then a little bit of hero ball mixed in there, and that just doesn't bode well when you need to value the basketball. Yeah, Miami just took advantage. Terry Rozier, man, he did a hell of a job. You talk about Miami kind of ramping up at this time of the year. We saw Jimmy kind of play the background in the beginning of the game, but then as he got aggressive, that's when the Heat started to kind of take control of the game. So yeah, man, they just point blank lost to a better team. What we've seen from them, when they've been successful recently is, when Cardell brings up which team had the better guys, the Wizards players have been able to match the opposing team's best player, and that just didn't happen tonight. And they also had their best player out with Kuz being sidelined, so it was already an uphill battle from that standpoint. But yeah, man, they just weren't able to get it done.
Yeah, it was yet another game where you just missed Rashawn Holmes. Kudos to Bags again, 12 points, 7 rebounds. Step in, give you double. There's nothing to hang your head. Nothing to hang your head about. I thought Anthony Gill, I think he tied his career high tonight with 18 points, which is a great look. I thought he was really good for them tonight. But like you mentioned, one of the best guys on the floor for them tonight, Bam Adebayo, was huge for Miami in this game. Felt like, I felt like it's just several times during this game, he just got to calm things down or made an impact play here or there. The role he plays for Miami is so unique. And it was on full display tonight, man. 12 trips to the line. Well, not 12 trips, but 12 free throws from your center, who's typically a facilitator on that team. Hey, they missed some of what they like you said, they were missing the bulk of their front court. And this is again not to say that if Kuz and Rashawn Holmes plays, this means Bam doesn't do Bam things. Nah, but you have a little bit more resistance in there to match some of that physicality. Bam's a big dude. He's just not 6'10 or 6'11 or whatever, but it's a big body dude inside. And I thought he was huge this game. He brought up Terry Rozier. And Jimmy was definitely a little bit more assertive at different points, especially. I know you mentioned on Twitter, you mentioned a show a while ago. I thought the Wizards probably not that they let go of the rope, but Miami snatched more of the rope at the end of the first half. And they snatched it a little bit more to start the second half, to start the third quarter, and then Washington kind of tried to pull, get a better grip. But I think the damage was done from there, and they never really got fully back within striking distance without Miami calmly putting things away. But yeah, shout out to Anthony Gill tonight. I thought he had a really good game. Jared Butler had one as well as another guy taking advantage of these minutes for them. You have anything else to add on tonight's game, or you want to get into the player of the game?
No, we can move on.
All right. So who'd you have?
It's kind of tough, man. I was going back and forth between Bam and Terry Rozier. They both obviously had their handprints on his game. I guess I go Rozier, man. He really controlled the pace of the game, and that was a big part of how Miami was able to take advantage when the Wizards went cold offensively. He's ball in hand, but he puts pressure on guys, and with his shooting ability, he can compromise the defense in a lot of ways. And I think with him performing the way he did, it opened things up for other people.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that at all. I just liked how efficient he was. He had 27, Poole had 22, but Terry was 11 and 19, 5 of 11 from deep, 4 steals on the block. Both teams had 4 to 5 starters in double figures, but Miami was just a little, as you said earlier, their best players did their job tonight. They were the best players, in fact, on the floor. And you look at that trio, just Rozier, Adebayo, Butler were everything tonight. And again, Rozier, he controlled the game. No turnovers tonight, 35 minutes, 27 points, 2 assists. And again, he's not asked to be a facilitator here, but 27 points, no turnovers. You got the ball a lot, 4 steals, 4 rebounds. You did your job, man. The guy you were guarding, 8 of 20, 4 turnovers. And again, it's not knocking Jordan or anything like that. Just why I'm agreeing with you with Rozier, this player of the game tonight. X factor.
Feels weird to say Bam, but I'm gonna say Bam anyway. Just again, with the Wizards' thin front court, he put a lot of pressure on them. You brought up, the 12 free throws. Yeah, man, they were +9 from the free throw line. In a 12-point game. And Bam had 10 of them. If he doesn't, if he's not aggressive and he doesn't put that pressure on them, then who knows how this plays out. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Bam.
All right, I'm gonna go a little non-conventional here. I'm going with Jovic. With both teams starting some young folks tonight. Washington starting Patrick Baldwin Jr. I think we know what to expect out of Rozier, Adebayo, and Butler. I don't think anyone's shocked about what they did tonight. At the very least, I thought Jovic was solid. 12 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal on the block. Listen, I thought he was fine tonight. He came into this game averaging 6, 4, and 1.9 assists. He almost doubled everything tonight. It's a solid night for someone you don't. Again, not that they don't expect him to contribute, but you got 12, 8, and 4 out of somebody who versus what Washington got out of PBJ, who had a rough night tonight. both young guys having a start. I thought Jovic missed for you. 12 points, 8 boards, 4 assists, and a steal on the block in 22 minutes. I thought he was also another guy that was able to put the ball on the floor and put pressure on Washington's defense at times with what he brings to the table. So that's who I had. I guess we'll get into X Factor. Again, Washington continues their homestand. They got Bucks, Lakers back-to-back Tuesday, Wednesday night, which is extremely tough. So we'll start and stop right there. And then they got another game later that week. But, yeah, Giannis and Dame and then Bron and company, back-to-back nights. Hopefully they get a little bit healthier if you're Washington heading into those games. But we'll see how that goes. Area 11T, happy Easter to y'all guys. Ain't no point in talking about this. Hey, man, we got to talk about it, and happy Easter to you as well. But real question is to me, did they let Miami get away with a lot of reaching fouls every time? You got this, Ray.
That white noise, man. I didn't notice. I really don't pay attention to that type of stuff.
I would just say it's one of those things where you know that what's it called? Reputation precedes you. It works both ways. It works this way, especially if you're a team that's known for being gritty and defensive. Hell yeah, I'm gonna try to see what else I can get away with. Like, the benefit of the doubt for me is that's what I'm gonna do. What's the worst you do? Call a foul? You can't. Or what was it? Seattle with the Legion of Boom. You can't call everything. Everything can't be a flag. Hey man, it's not Miami's job to officiate it. So it is what it is, man. But yeah, I just think it's one of those reputations. Like the '90s Knicks, man, they fouled a lot. I grew up a Knicks fan before I stopped being one. Like, they fouled a lot. Yes, they played good defense, but bro, they were hacking. All right, it's okay. But you get away with this sometimes. Some teams get away with things when you're known for those things. So, you know, I'm not saying that's exactly what happened tonight, but look, man, it's Miami, man. They're gonna keep reaching. They're gonna keep reaching. They're gonna keep putting hands on people. It's gonna be physical. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. And yeah, sometimes they get burned, sometimes they don't. It's one of those things. The wonders of officiating. It's that simple. But for Ray and myself, y'all have a happy Easter. Appreciate y'all tuning in, man. And we will get at y'all, literally in 48 hours after Giannis and Dame take on the Wizards on Tuesday night.